All right, so I was laying in bed and I didn't want to get up yet because I was tired. It was like 6 a.m. So I'm like, okay, let me do a little bit of research here. I hadn't looked at Reddit in a while. So I went to Reddit, went to Pez Radar's username as well as Wyatt Chang, because normally you just kind of follow the devs and you see what they're posting. And sometimes they'll post stuff on Reddit that they don't tell us, the Diablo partners, etc. And they'll just shoot bits of information out. I hadn't done it in a bit. So I'm like, let me go take a look. So I did, and I actually found some stuff. So here we go. First and foremost, new zones coming to the game. We need more zones, and Pez Radar replies, it's in the works, which means new zones are in the works. If that is true, the end of September is the new major update. What I have as far as information behind the scenes on this is I know they're pretty proud of this one. They've mentioned they've been trying to get it to be balanced correctly. They're trying to get it right. They weren't able to get into the previous update, so they're going to try to put into this major update coming now. And a new zone would kind of make sense in that train of logic, where a new zone is a fairly large piece of content. Don't know if this is going to raise the level cap, nothing like that. It's just speculation other than what he says here, which is it is in the works. Okay, so I would probably expect this, I would think, in the next major update. Keep in mind something that people, I don't think, quite realize is none of the updates we've had so far are major. They consider all of the updates we've had minor, including class change update, okay? This is true because if you look in the patch notes, they say our first major update is coming. They say this several times. So because of this, maybe a new zone is what they consider major update. But we got some other little bits of information, because if you look here, I got another screenshot for you. Pez Radar, the same guy, is responding to a post here where in Reddit, the person's asking, hey, we need server changes. Up top, we need server changes. If you zoom in here, he says, no mentions of it by Blizzard, but then Pez Radar says it will be coming soon. So soon, TM, again, speculation, but we know major updates coming in September. I do believe server merges it's probably about the time to get the server merges going together. I know if you go to the Reddit right now on Diablo, a lot of people are talking about sort of the hacked orb system. I think some more people have been banned than you guys probably realize. I think more people were using this than people think. Like a good amount of people are using this. If you go here, Korean News currently said they right here, this post here, 15 times cheaper from the Chinese brokers is what they were able to get it for. You can see it's made like basically national news. Korea takes gaming pretty serious, which was what one of the comments said on the Reddit post, and I tend to agree with them because, I mean, hey, Korea sort of started esports, right? And you can see there's Reddit posts talking about this, etc. I'm sure this is going to make it to the other PC games magazines, etc. But anytime we start talking about this type of stuff in videos, some of the other online articles start covering this stuff as well. So not really a big surprise that this gets covered in an article, but I think this might go hand in hand with things like server merges. They just started sending out ban waves and wiping out some of the top players on each one of these servers. So more than likely because of that, as well as the fact that the game's been out a while, plus even before the game was out, they said server merges is something that's going to happen. I don't think server merges are really a huge deal. I think it's something that is pretty much required for the lifeblood of a lot of these games. If it's not a gacha game that has one big global server merges tend to be important. I'll give you an idea why. Games like Marvel Future Revolution, where your server starts dying in action RPGs, your server starts dying, you only have a few top players at the top, the game kind of becomes a big snowball, there's not much competition. And the Shadow Wars, even right now on some of the servers, people aren't able to fill out the top 10 clans literally at all. A lot of people aren't even showing up for the Shadow Wars. This could basically be alleviated by having a bunch more players. It could also be alleviated, to be honest, by making Being the Immortals better, because at the moment Being the Immortals isn't really that big of an incentive. I've been the Immortals for 6 weeks. We held the longest reign. It's not really a big deal, to be honest. I mean, my activity is low. I'm below Paragon server level because I more or less don't have a whole lot to do. I can log on and do the daily activities, and I can grind the dungeons if I want, but I'm kind of just waiting for the Hell 5 Paragon before I go grind all these sets and make all these videos about it. It's like, look, guys, we're like a week and a half away from basically having the in-game set pieces literally anyway. Let's just wait and then grind everything one last time, get all the sets, and we're done. And that's pretty much what my plan is, right? Because of this, server merges are probably pretty badly needed. I think we're losing a lot of the players right now. You can see my previous video, I said people are quitting, so it would make sense to go hand in hand to fix the quitting aspect by kind of merging servers together. The other thing to keep in mind is, like, server merges don't mean the game is just dead. I've seen a lot of posts where it's like, oh, well, server merges means the game's dying. Yes, every single game is dying. Your favorite game you're playing right now you think's doing very well is dying. Every game on the planet is literally dying. That's how games work. They peak up, they go big, and then they die down. Now, games like my favorite game of all time, RuneScape, they'll keep it base level players and they'll advertise and redo their game and all these things to keep it going. But mobile games are not this way. Mobile games have a big peak. Maybe they'll have another little peak with other re-releases or updates, but they will never hit that launch peak again. It's a one and done, and then it's going to slowly deteriorate out. I've never seen a mobile game do anything different. You could argue games that have like insane amounts of advertising, maybe like Raid or something, have done better and have kept some growth, but you have to push that advertising so much, and it has to be the primary focus of your company and the one product and all these things. And that's basically what Plarium did with Raid. They just kind of all in on Raid. They paid for tons and tons of promotions, and they're still paying for promotion, etc., to keep that game relevant. And you could even argue there's been times that game's dying even under massive marketing campaigns. So I don't really think it's crazy unreasonable where if we need a server merge, it means the game's dead in 2 days. I will say there has been some people leaving. There's been some people banned because of the whole buying fake orbs issue, and now the population on the servers is probably one of the lowest it's been. Server merges would make sense. We have the update coming kind of towards the end of the month, beginning of next month. They seem very proud of this update. I know they were trying to get a bunch of stuff into this update they haven't been able to do before, and it's the first major update. The other ones were only said under minor. Put all those together and read between the lines. This is all speculation, obviously, but we have the word from him saying that new zones are coming, and the server change will be coming soon. Look at this, server change. He's not talking about merges, server change. So if you have the ability to actually hop from server to server for like $25 or something like that, a lot of us are probably going to be hopping to servers where our friends are, our friends hopping to our servers, and I think that actually make a big deal. To give you an example, I have a friend in real life I sold cars with for a few years. Great guy. Shout out to John. What up, John? But he's a hardcore grinder, plays a lot, good friend of mine. I talked to him about the game and stuff, but we're not on the same server. He's from Oregon, whereas I am up in Alaska, right? And so we're close enough that we could play on the same server, but we just didn't pick the same one when it started. And so we've been punished because of that decision literally the entire time. So I can't play with my friend if I wanted to. So things like these with the server merges would actually go a long way to make the game better if it's a server change, not so much a server merge. If we don't get to pick where we're merging, we're kind of right back in the same problem. It's just delayed a little bit, but server change could be pretty cool. Counterpoint to server change could be problems because all the major wells can just talk to each other across, all transfer the same server, make one giant well group, and then you kind of have some problems. I'm sure some people will do that if server changes kind of come. But anyway, that's what's going on. That's the update. That's the speculation, the data, whatever you want to call it. The only screenshots we have here is Pez Radar saying it's coming soon, and it's in the works for the zone. So everything is incoming soon, TM at this moment, but we know it's coming. And for today, ladies and gentlemen, that is the update we have on Diablo Immortal. Consider liking the video, subscribing if you're new, and all of the garbage that us annoying YouTubers say at the end of the video. Have a wonderful day. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave at the end of the video here. I have a teaser for something I'm working on. I'm going to leave you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.
I'ma smoke this green all night and just make things seem alright. Had to put the beans on rice, Brody put the fiends on ice. I was starving so many nights. I got left out in the darkness, it was so many mice. Like something ain't right, I'm so deceived, I can't believe you a fraud. I've been thinking crazy thoughts, but I'm gon' leave it to God. Thinking I can tell you anything that I was feeling inside, but you just put it aside, and you left me to. And if you fog it up and keep on trying, sometimes you gotta leave your mind. But it's just hard when people keep on dying. Like, Father God, I need more time. I know you fed up, keep your head up, almost to that light. Can't go back home if you tryna see me, better take that flight. Get on the road, if you get lost, you better hit that curb. Better take that left, better make that right. Knowing I get you anything, but you been telling me lies. Like we could get through anything, but that shit was a facade. I can see the devil all in your eyes. I can see the devil all in your eyes. And if you fog it up and keep on trying, sometimes you gotta leave your mind. But it's just hard when people keep on dying. Like, Father God, I need more time.
If you're interested at all in that project, I'm turning it into a mobile YouTube studio. I will have a link to the YouTube channel that will be covering this and only have those uploads. I'm not going to put any of that stuff on this channel. Don't worry. This is the Diablo channel, but I'm actually trying to transfer into like a mobile YouTube studio to travel and meet people and do events and stuff like that. It should be a lot of fun. We're seeing it's going to be probably a 6-month build project. I'm doing it all live as well as time-lapsing the videos too, so you guys can see all the progress, etc. I'm just going to keep building until I run out of money, save up some money, try building again, basically building a tiny home out of this van. Should be a lot of fun. There's a lot of people doing it, and yeah, I know it's kind of out of left field and all that, but if you guys want to know what I do with my life right now instead of just sitting here talking about Diablo, there's a little bit of Casey behind the camera.